Hey YouTube, welcome to the Off-Grid Mountain Homestead. You might be wondering what's all these barrels and buckets and stuff about. Well, this is our fertilizer and feed storage, part of it anyhow. I just want to talk about these barrels because, as most of you know, if it's watched the channel for a while, we're in a tiny home and have limited storage space, so we keep our chicken feed and fertilizers and stuff outside behind the shed. So using these buckets and these barrels, we can keep our feed and fertilizer fresh without having to worry about rain or weather getting into it. But there's several different options that you have to store outside. You can use the 15-gallon, these are 15-gallon food grade barrels. These actually had, I think, coffee berry extract or something like that in them. So it's food grade, it's safe to use for your animal feed and stuff like that. And you could, you know, if you washed them out real good and cleaned them, you could even use them for some long-term storage of human food. But another option is a 5-gallon bucket, classic with old gamma lid. That always works too. You're just limited on your space. And you know, if you're on the cheap, got somebody that's got cats or dogs, these are little 1.5-gallon, 2-gallon cat litter buckets. Get these from a friend that has cats. And I repurpose and pour the fertilizer with the funnel down in here so I can carry, you know, 5 or 6 pounds of fertilizer around through the garden instead of having to tote a sack or worrying about it getting wet. But these are good little barrels. You can find them at your local, you know, feed and seed stores. You can look on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. The 15-gallon barrels used to be $10 or $15 a couple years ago. Now these, I looked the other day locally, they're like $25 to $30 for the little 15-gallon ones. If you go to the next size up, the 30-gallon ones, you know, they're 35 or 40 bucks, you know, locally here. And I'm not sure if that's due to shortage or just due to price increases or what have you. But, you know, smaller stuff, you know, the gamma lid works good. But, you know, these have been sitting out in the weather for months on end. A couple of them is probably a year or two old, so they don't really corrode or rust or anything like that. They got anodized latches on them, so you can just pop the latches off. And it's got a little gasket inside to keep it sealed. You know, chicken feed in there, sits out in the weather, dries the bone. But these barrels hold up to bears as well. This not this particular barrel, but we got another barrel of chicken feed at the coop, and a bear has rolled it around, beat on it, clawed it, never did get into it. We've had raccoons try to get into them, trying to pull the levers and chew through, and they hadn't got through either. So just a few options, you know, for your feed and fertilizer storage, stuff like that. If you have to store it outdoors, or even if you have to store it in a barn, you know, this will keep rats and vermin and bugs and stuff out of your feed. And all the corn I had in that other video, once it gets dried out and stuff, I'm gonna crack it down for the chickens and store it in one of these barrels to supplement the regular fortified chicken feed as well. So how do y'all store y'all's feed and fertilizer? Y'all use barrels like this, or you have another method? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching Off-Grid Mountain Homestead. Stay tuned.